Immigration tightens supervision of foreign nationals, holds Operation Jagratara 2024 again. And Nadiem Makarim, Indonesia has made a major transformation in its education system. Stay tuned for details on these and other stories. Selamat siang. Welcome to the latest news from Bali in Indonesia. This is October 5th and 6th, 2024, and my name is Bruce. And what is the weather like today in the kampung? It is getting hot again, 31.5 degrees Celsius, humidity 66%, and the wind speed is 10.3 kilometers per hour. And a nice day, but wind all the time. Wind. Okay, and according to recent reports from the meteorological agency, the rainy season will be coming. We're going to be in transition for the rainy season. And so, if you get more rain, you know why. And the last video I was talking about there was no rain here. And an hour after I filmed that video, it started pouring here for the first time in months. You just can't tell about the weather. Okay, lots of stuff to do today as usual, and let's get started. Immigration tightens supervision of foreign nationals, holds Operation Jagratara 2024. The Immigration Office in Bali has restarted a series of foreign national surveillance operations codenamed Jagratara to ensure foreigners comply with the law in Indonesia. Immigration supervision is expected to create a safe situation for the Indonesian people, according to the Director General of Immigration. In this operation, Immigration deployed 125 personnel consisting of civil servant, investigators, PPNS, patrol officers, and immigration checkpoint officers. This operation, which is carried out simultaneously throughout Indonesia, aims to tighten supervision of foreign nationals, especially in Bali and in the greater Jakarta area, with the hope of enforcing immigration regulations and imposing severe sanctions on foreign nationals who violate them. When this was inaugurated, 20 new patrol vehicles out of a total of 265 patrol vehicles were symbolically handed over to the Immigration Office in Bali to increase team mobility in the field. The allocation of immigration patrol cars is adjusted to the concentration of foreign nationals in each region. With the addition of these facilities and infrastructure, immigration's response and taking action will be faster, and the operational reach that officers can reach will be wider and more evenly distributed. Operation Jagratara 2024 has the main objective in instilling a sense of fear among foreign nationals who break the law and disrupt public order. Makarim emphasized that this step is not only repressive but also preventive, with the hope that this strict supervision will make foreign nationals think twice before breaking the rules in Indonesia. He said, Indonesia is a country that supports the tourism sector, but comfort must be accompanied by order. We want foreign nationals who come to Indonesia to understand and follow the rules and norms that apply in this country. We also try to ensure that those who come are quality travelers through strengthening intelligence cooperation and information exchange with other countries. Makarim emphasized that the official ratification of the draft law on the Third Amendment to Law No. 6 of 2011 on immigration brought about significant changes in the policy of monitoring foreign nationals in Indonesia, and especially those who break the law, especially the sanctions for those who break the law. With the enactment of this new regulation, the deterrence section, which previously only applied for 6 months to 1 year, has now been increased to 10 years, plus an additional 10 years, meaning a maximum of 20 years or life. In fact, for foreign nationals who commit serious violations, such as being a criminal suspect with a prison sentence of more than 5 years, the deterrence sanction can be applied for life. So that's the blacklisting, I'm assuming. The changes in the immigration law are also part of the government's effort to address the rampant overstay problem, especially in areas that are major tourist destinations. Through this new policy, the government is committed to enforcing the law more firmly and effectively. In addition, Makarim also explained that one of the violations that was often found in previous operations was the misuse of investor visas by foreign nationals. especially in Bali and Jakarta. He explained that many foreign nationals used investor visas to avoid paying annual limited stay permits, ETAs or KITAS, whatever you want to call it. Investor visas are considered cheaper because they do not require paying ETAs every year. After we investigated, the paid-up capital turned out to be only 1 billion rupiah, meaning it would be even lower if placed. It could be a quarter or a fifth of that, meaning only 250 million rupiahs. That's MSMEs or micro. Only 1 billion is micro entry. That's why we regulate it. We even give an opportunity until December to increase the paid-up capital of 10 billion rupiah. This is something I think we need to enforce. No kidding. How many people are here in investor visas and haven't paid anything? When asked about the comparison between violations of foreign nationals in Bali and Jakarta, Makarim admitted that the characteristics of violations differ in each region. In Bali, violations are more related to the tourism sector, such as visa and resident permit abuse, while in Jakarta, overstay violations are more common. However, abuse of investor visas is a violation found in both regions. And so really cracking down on this now. We're back with another operation that was what went on before and has now been restarted. Why? I think that the government is getting tired of all these viral videos of foreigners behaving badly. And also, we're getting some more extreme examples, such as growing and manufacturing drugs in villas. Makarim concluded, in essence, we want to ensure that Indonesia is a comfortable destination for tourists and foreign investors who obey the rules. On the other hand, immigration supervision is expected to create a safe situation for the Indonesian people, especially from transnational crimes or foreigners who disturb the public order. And what about education? Education is an interesting topic here. I know a lot of people, especially foreigners, like to trash education here, but the curriculum, and I've dealt with Indonesian curriculum in the past, is not in itself bad. In fact, a lot of the curriculum is very similar to curriculum that you find in many international schools and national schools. But one of the big problems, or two of big problems, one is teacher training, professional development. Not a lot of that here, unfortunately, and teachers need that. I went through professional development every year when I was teaching, and I think that's something that all teachers around the world need to go through. And also, infrastructure here is still lacking. And so, what is this major transformation going on in the education system? The Indonesian Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, Nadiem Makarim, said that the transformation of education under the Merdeka Belajar free learning program has been the key to improving the quality of education in Indonesia. The intervention in the use of technology by teachers, principals, and the heads of the education department has succeeded in simplifying the administrative process. And that is always a nightmare for teachers around the world. As a result, all parties can now focus on the learning process, hooray, which prioritizes the needs of students and opens up more learning opportunities. Over the past 5 years, Indonesia has made significant changes to the education system. We are using technology as a balance to the education system to enhance the potentials of education drivers, which includes teachers, principals, and education department heads, so that they can collaborate and improve the quality of education services for students. According to the minister, his office has implemented an education transformation through technology development that aims to improve learning activities in the classroom by shifting the administrative burden of teachers and principals to technology so that they can focus on creating fun learning programs for students. And students like fun learning programs. My granddaughter has some technology fun learning programs that she does really like. Nadiem said that one of the first steps done in Indonesia's education transformation was building a special team to develop various technology products that will help form policies to accommodate the needs of teachers, principals, and students. It was not an easy start due to the paternalistic views of the policymakers, he said. Isn't that always the issue in education. Politicians always want to get involved in it, and they usually know very little about education. The government seemed to think that they knew everything about their constituents and what they needed, he said. But the Gojek founder continued his plan to use technology in Indonesia's education transformation. He claimed that other ministries even use the same method. After 2 years of creating these products, other ministries began to become curious, ask us what we did, and then built their own teams. In several regions, government apps have been successful in accommodating educational programs and management. The principal of SMAN 3 Denpasar State High School said the app such as Rapor Pendidikan has helped her school make decisions. Before, decisions could not be made immediately, she said. Previously, educational data had to be collected from various surveys and meetings. After using the application, decision making is faster and program evaluation is easier. But there were challenges. In the school, some senior teachers found it difficult to use the app. They are working with young teachers, said Ibu Kadet. And that's true. I used to train Indonesian teachers on using technology, and for the older people, it's a little harder than for the younger people, especially this new generation coming up who've grown up with digital products. There was another challenge. Teachers or schools in remote areas were faced with limited access to the internet or electricity, a problem that I came up with as well. Some efforts have been made to alleviate the problem. We have a program called Awan Penggerak, said Yudhistira Nugraha, head of Data and Technology Information Center at the Ministry of Education. This program provides flexible access to various learning resources and applications via the internet. There are several teachers who help other teachers, he said. And what about responses to this? How about the UN? UN agencies appreciate Indonesia's education transformation with technology intervention. United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, and United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, appreciate Indonesia's effort in education transformation in the last 5 years. The experience of digital transformation, digitization, of education in Indonesia is incredibly impressive, said Gateway lead for UNICEF, Frank van Kapel, at a press conference the other day during Gateway Study Visit Indonesia 2024 in Bali. According to him, the scale and impact that have been achieved in engaging teachers in digital transformation are huge. The digitization of the education system in Indonesia has been firmly put in place for the service of children and in the service of teachers, school leaders, communities, and local government, and working collaboratively across all different stakeholders, he said. Another important aspect from Indonesia's education transformation, he said, is the human-centered approach used in the journey. The use of technology is rarely mandatory, but making the tool so compelling, so user-friendly, and so high quality, it can enrich the user's experience. The other thing that impressed him is the focus in leading the transformation. UNESCO Gateway lead Mark West expressed a similar opinion. We've been so impressed by what Indonesia has accomplished over the past several years, he said. The approach is very special. Indonesia, according to West, is using technology to improve human interaction and relationships in schools and classrooms. The future of education is about empowering teachers with technology and helping to improve the fantastic work that's happening in schools and classrooms. In addition, the Indonesian government has also prioritized the integration of technology to help teachers reduce administrative burden, to help teachers build their capacities, and allow teachers to create new ideas and lesson plans to encourage collaboration and work among students and teachers. He also said that the creation of the platform helps school leaders collect better data so that they can improve their school's development. This is what the future of digital education should be like, sort of streamlining those back-end processes, he said. For 3 days, from October 1st to the 3rd, delegations from some 20 countries gathered in Bali for Gateway Study Visit Indonesia. This event was one of the programs of Gateway Initiative, a global initiative managed by UNESCO and UNICEF to work with countries and partners on establishing digital education as a public good through high-quality, inclusive national digital learning platforms and content. The Director General of Early Childhood Education, Primary Education, and Secondary Education at the Indonesian Ministry of Culture, Education, Research, and Technology said Indonesia still needs to improve the education transformation using technology. Indonesia just recovered from the pandemic. How long are people going to keep saying that? that this is also the case for the education sector. Don't stop at minimum competency. We have to keep pushing the momentum. However, there's still homework to be done, especially for remote regions. The ministry should work together with regional governments. Hopefully, the echo of the principle of education in Merdeka Belajar will become a global inspiration. And there's been 2 different spas that are in the news here, supposedly being fronts for prostitution. I'm only going to talk about one. I just saw the other one today, and maybe we'll get to it in another video, the one I'm talking about now. I talked about 2 videos ago, I think, 2 or 3 videos. Latest, 2 Pink Palace fleets secured, then installed with police line, then covered with a police line. The Pink Palace spa case continues to roll, in addition to the Pink Palace gate being fitted with a police line because there are same-sex slime practices. The Bali Police General Criminal Investigation Directorate secured 2 fleets or four-wheeled vehicles with the words Pink Palace, and they put the police lines around them. Yes, that's right. We have secured 2 operational cars from the Pink Palace, according to Head of Public Relations for the Bali Police. Investigation of this case is ongoing, and as to where it is in this process, well, according to a spokesperson, I don't have complete information about the handling of the case. However, it is true that it was disguised as a place for prostitution and was closed. Several sources within the Bali Police said that the 2 cars secured were based on the results of this investigation. It's also said that up till now, investigators continue to investigate prostitution under the guise of being a spa. It was said that the 2 cars were allegedly used for the operational business of a married couple from Australia. It was explained that the 2 cars had the word Pink Palace written on the side and were secured while parked at the back of a 3-story building, a location where all pink prostitution took place. And building on the coast and building illegally and closing off the beach. The beach is public access. It has to be public access. Hotels cannot own the beach. This has been talked about over and over and over again for years, and the government continues to come out and says, no, you cannot close off access to the beach. Well, it happened. And up here in Buleleng, in 2 places, community reported coastal border flashing. The alleged encroachment of the coastal border in Dencharik village has not yet been resolved. A similar incident occurred also in Kalayasam village. Sadly, the 2 tourism accommodation businesses have the same owner. Surprise, surprise. The Buleleng Civil Service Police Unit, Sapol PP, carried out monitoring and direct checks at the location this past week. The head of Buleleng Sapol PP confirmed that the leaning on the Kalayasam beach was reported by residents who felt disturbed and obstructed when crossing the beach. The report was then followed up by Sapol PP by coordinating with the head of Kalayasam village. After communication, the building of the embankment on the beach border was outside the ownership certificate of the entrepreneur concerned. The entrepreneur concerned argued that later stairs would be built to facilitate pedestrian access. The embankment has been built in stages since 2017. The alleged annexation of the beach border was only discovered after a report from the public. To the naked eye, the embankment is about 1 meter high and juts out into the sea, so if there are people walking on the beach, they can't. If they climb up, the embankment's too high. If they avoid it, they're going to get wet from seawater. Meanwhile, to ensure whether the building violates the regulations or not, the plan is that the Public Works and Spatial Planning Agency, PUTR, and the Buleleng One-Stop Integrated Investment Licensing Agency will check directly based on the data they have and then compare it with conditions in the field. If it's proven to be in violation, the building will be dismantled to restore the function of the coastal border, which is a national asset and used for public interest. Okay, that is it for today. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.